Now we will discuss about flip-flop. Flip-flop as a basic memory element. We will discuss about 4 types of flip-flop here. SR flip-flop, JK flip-flop, D flip-flop and T flip-flop. This SR flip-flop is also known as set reset flip-flop. This S and R stands for set reset. It is also known as set reset flip-flop. This we can consider JK. It is a modification of SR flip-flop. D flip-flop we can consider it as delay flip-flop, or data flip-flop, and this T flip-flop, this T stands for toggle flip-flop. This T flip-flop represent toggle flip-flop. Now this SR flip-flop which represent set reset flip-flop. This set condition is nothing but the input combination for which we get output as 1. The set condition is nothing but input combination for which we get as a output as 1. So we can consider set condition is nothing but 1 condition, and reset condition we can consider it as 0 condition, because we know that for the digital circuit we have only 2 states available, logic 1 and logic 0. So this set represent logic 1, reset represent logic 0. This SR flip-flop we can also call it as set. Set means 1 and clear means 0. This SR flip-flop also known as set clear flip-flop. This S and R stands for set and reset condition. These flip-flop are also known as bistable multivibrator. It also known as bistable multivibrator. Why it is known as bistable device? Because it has 2 stable states. This bi represent 2. It has 2 stable state, either logic 0 or 1. It has 2 stable state, logic 0 and 1. It can remain in either of the stable state, either it is 0 or 1, indefinite amount of time until we change the input. So with respect to change in input, your output get modified from 0 to 1 or from 1 to 0, but it can remain stable at the state 0 or 1 for indefinite amount of time if we do not change the input. That's why it is known as bistable. It has 2 stable state, 0 and 1. We will also discuss about latches. Latches we can consider it is sub-part of your flip-flop. We can consider, if you want to differentiate between latches and flip-flop, latches are level trigger device. We can consider latches are level trigger device and flip-flops are edge trigger device. Latches are level trigger device and flip-flops are edge trigger device. The latches will change the output with respect to the logic 1 of the clock signal. That's why it is level triggered. And flip-flop will change the output with respect to rising edge. When the external clock signal changes its value from 0 to 1, this is rising edge movement, or whenever external clock signal changes its value from 1 to 0, this is known as falling edge trigger. It is also known as positive edge trigger or negative edge trigger. This flip-flop, it will modify its output either at rising edge or falling edge, that at that edge instant only. That's why it is known as edge trigger. Whereas latches, it will modify the output whenever the external clock signal, it has either value 1 or it has either value 0. It is level trigger. It will modify the output with respect to the clock signal has value 1, with respect to clock signal 1 or clock signal 0. That's why it is level trigger. Whereas flip-flop, it will modify the output whenever the clock signal changes its value from 0 to 1. This particular instant is known as rising edge trigger. This particular instant is known as falling edge trigger.